Hey mamas, you are listening to the Motherhood is Ghetto podcast. We all know motherhood can be a beautiful thing, but girl, it can also be ghetto. Join me as we discuss some of the best and worst parts of being a mom raising kids, all while trying to figure out this thing called life. This ghetto is a safe space, mamas. So welcome to the hood. Hey mamas, welcome back to another episode of Motherhood is Ghetto. My name is Joy, and how y'all doing out there? If y'all doing all right, you already know what to say. Say amen. I have prayed you are having a great day and a great week so far. Um, you- y'all, listen, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? Um, it is an ugly day today here in the city. It's raining. This is my least favorite kind of weather. I absolutely hate the rain. So it's dark and it's ugly outside. I don't know what we're gonna have for dinner tonight. I have no idea. There's so many options and I don't want to partake in any of them. And also too, the Crimson Shadow is in town today, aka Auntie Flo, aka the Crimson Bitch. Amen. So I just I don't know. Today I don't think is my day. Today is one of those days like I really need to like be in the bed all day and not be bothered with anything or anybody. But I have a to-do list today, and on this said to-do list is to record podcast episodes because I have busy weeks coming up, so I need to pre-record episodes to upload later on throughout the month. And I have to take Christmas decorations down. Those are both on my to-do list. And so this is me showing up, amen, for myself, for my planner, for what I've planned to do today for myself. And I'm here. So thank you for being here with me, amen. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk, for sure. So, but the good news is that I'm so excited about this episode because one of the lovely listeners of the Motherhood is Ghetto podcast requested that I give information on how to prepare to buy a home. And I am going to do just that for you. This is going to be the single mom edition, amen, of preparing to buy a house. Now, what I'm going to go over in these things to do to prepare. This is going to stop short of finding a lender and going through like that process of getting approved and home inspection, like all that stuff. You can find on the internet if you just type in like home buying process, and that'll give you that process. But what this specific listener asked for was, what did I do to prepare as a single mom to buy a house? So this is like what I did before actually finding a lender, going through the process of the home buying process. So this is what I did before that. And this process started 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, I decided that I wanted to buy a house. Full stop. I was just like, you know what? I'm done being a renter. I want to buy a house. So, what I'm going to go over with you guys today is the things that I did to prepare mentally and to prepare physically, like the things that I did that helped me to prepare to be a homeowner. So, if you're interested, please continue to listen. If you're already a homeowner and you already own your home, fabulous. Love that for you. And if you're a mom, but you have a spouse or a partner, Love that for you too. And maybe this could be helpful for you, but I'm just sharing from a single mom perspective what I did to prepare. So I don't know how to prepare with a spouse or a partner because I've never done it before. I can only share my experience as a single person. So maybe it'll align for moms who are married or maybe not. I don't know, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and get into it. Amen. All right, mama. So you guys already know I'm going to be looking off camera because I'm an iPad girly now. Amen. So I use my iPad for not everything, but I use it for a lot of things now. One of which is to write down my show notes to make sure that I stay on track and I don't ramble, and all that stuff. So that way you get the information you need when you need it. Amen. So, the first thing that you should do to prepare to buy a home is once you have it made up in your mind, like there's no like on the fence, there's no back and forth. Once you've decided that you want to be a homeowner, start preparing like you're about to move tomorrow. And what I mean by that is start decluttering, start cleaning up, start throwing out things that you no longer need anymore or that you haven't used and you cannot see yourself taking to your new home. This is probably the most important one of the most important steps before you go into buying a home because it's just gonna save you a lot of time and stress when it actually is time to move. So, when I decided that I wanted to buy a house, I immediately, like, went into declutter mode. I had a lot of things to get rid of, y'all. And also too, on top of that, like, I had my late husband's things, so I had to go through everything, like, triple, quadruple time because we just had a lot of stuff. So, the first thing that I did was I tackled closets, so everything that was in every closet in the house that we didn't use in the last 3 months or we could not use going forward, I threw it out. And this is something that I did over the course of, like, days, months, and stuff like that. I did not, like, try to do it all in one day because I knew that I was gonna burn out. So, when you just have it in your mind that you wanna buy a home and you don't have, like, any dates or any deadlines or anything like that, just start cleaning up, start throwing out things you don't need, start, packing. I did that too, so if there were things that I wanted, and I wanted to take with me to the new house, but I wasn't necessarily needing in the moment, I packed it. Um, so every day when I would come home from work or on my off days, I would pack a box here and there. I would, get rid of stuff on bulk trash day. And also too, I minimized the amount of things that I was bringing into our home over the course of time. So not overspending, not, buying a whole bunch of stuff and just making sure to keep everything simple. Because what I did not want is I didn't want when it was time to move to be like spending all this time packing and cleaning and stuff like that and exhausting myself. And so that way I wouldn't be able to enjoy like when I first moved into my home. So that was the first thing that I did. And I just really acted like I was gonna be moving soon. I didn't know when I was gonna move or when I was gonna buy a house or when I would be in a position to buy a house, but I just knew that I was going to move and I was gonna buy a house. So I just acted like that's what I was gonna do. So the mindset really plays a part. Like you have to start acting like, I'm going to move, I'm about to buy a house. So you have to start acting like a homeowner at that point. So that would be my very first step for you, especially with them kids. Get rid of the things that the kids are no longer using, will not use, get rid of old clothes, shoes that don't fit them anymore, toys that they're no longer playing with. Do not take all that stuff with you to your new house because all it's going to do is cause clutter. And especially when you buy a new house, you want to get new things. So that's just going to add on to the new things that you're going to get, and it's just going to create a lot of clutter. And you don't want that for your new home. You want a fresh start. So that would be the first thing that I would do and I would focus on, however long it takes. So if you want to put like a time frame on it when you want to have everything like decluttered and stuff, that's fine. For me, I didn't put a timeline on it because I wasn't sure when I was gonna buy a home or when I would be ready. So I just did a little bit every day to get prepared. All right. So the next thing, once you've got it in your mind that you're gonna buy a house, you're starting to declutter, you're packing away some things that you're not needing right now and saving it for the move. The next thing that you want to do is you want to get very clear on what it is that you want. So this includes the type of house you want. Do you want a single family home? Do you want a townhouse? Do you want one story? Do you want two story or a three story? Do you want to buy like a mobile home? Do you want to live in a certain neighborhood, a certain location, a certain state? Um, Also, too, what are your must-haves? Like, what does your home absolutely have to have? You cannot live without it. What does it need to have? And then also price. What are you willing to pay monthly? What are you willing to pay overall for your home over the course of a 30-year mortgage or a 15-year mortgage, whatever? Get very clear on what it is that you want and very clear on what it is you can afford because it's just like shopping and not knowing what you want. You may you may run the risk of buying something that you really don't need or that really is not a good fit. And then at the end, you're not happy, you're not satisfied. So you end up selling the house or whatever the case, but that's not how you want your home buying to go, or at least like the first home that you buy. You're the plan is to be in the home for a long time. Even if you do end up selling it down the line or you're just using it as like a starter home, like it's not going to be your forever home type thing, that's okay too, but just be clear because in the time that you're here in your home, you want to be able to enjoy it. You don't want to be like, I settled for this, or I really could have did without this, or I really wanted this, but it wasn't included, blah, blah, blah. Like, get clear on exactly what you want in a home, what it looks like, where it's located, how much it costs, and what's included so that way, your first purchase, you're not left feeling like you made the wrong decision. And this is going to be probably one of the biggest purchases you make in your entire life. So you want this to count. You want this to be something that you actually want and you envision for yourself. And it's not going to bring you disappointment every time you walk into the house. Um, I spent a long time, like, visualizing what my house would look like, all the way down to, like, as far as, like, maintenance and things that I would have to do to the home. Like, I knew of that I want to do very minimal or no yard work at all. So, I didn't go for a house that had a big ass yard with grass and trees and bushes, and like, I didn't go for that because that's not what I wanted at the end of the day. I wanted something very easy and, easy to take care of and manage since I'm having to do it by myself. So, keep that in mind too, especially if you're a single mom. Keep keep your keep your budget in mind, be realistic. Don't try to sell yourself a dream that like, is not it doesn't fit within what you have going on. Like, it's cool to have goals and aspirations, like you wanna have a big house for the kids, and that's all good. Like, I want you to have that, but when you're thinking about buying your home, I want you to be practical and work within the means that you have. Work within your means. And if what you want is not within your means right now, then just wait. It's okay to wait. Everything doesn't have to happen right now. So if you do want the big house with the 6 bedrooms and the big backyard with a pool and all that stuff, but it's not within your means right now, then just it's not within your means right now. So you can put that off. You can save, you could plan for it, like and all that stuff. But just make sure you're doing what's best for you, and the home that you consider is not going to put more stress and more of a burden on you than it needs to. So yeah, so pretty much when I was going through like, my list of, okay, like, what is my house gonna look like? How much do I see myself paying for this house? All that stuff, I wrote everything down. To how many bedrooms, to the neighborhood, the side of town I would live on, the state, what my home would look like on the inside, if it would have stairs or not, what the floors would look like, everything. Like I visualized and I wrote down everything because when it came time to looking for a house and stuff like that, I wanted to be able to walk in and be like, "Yep, that's it. Like this is it right here." Okay, so the next thing that I would suggest, well, not suggest, like you need to do this. Amen. Like this is a requirement. um, pull your credit report. Okay. It's free. You can go to freecreditreport.com, or if you're using a credit reporting service that you pay for monthly to view your credits and credit report and make sure there's no fraud going on, whatever. Pull your credit report before them people do. Amen. Because when you actually are going through the buying process, you don't want them to pull your credit report and something catch you by surprise that you didn't know was on there, and that slows down your process of buying the home. So pull your credit report, okay? If there are things on your credit that needs to be taken care of, just take care of it. um, if that means that you go through a credit repair service or you just pay them people. Amen. I mean, like, you owe them people. So just pay them people. And a lot of the times if it's something that like credit repair can't get rid of, then you can call the person who's collecting on the debt and work out some sort of payment arrangement for a deletion, like work something out like that. Or just an arrangement like to pay something, not the whole balance, but a partial, like to close out the debt. So definitely make sure that you're getting your credit in order. And so that way, when you go to shop lenders and then you find a lender and then they go to run your credit, like again, you're not caught off guard by anything. You know what your score is, you know what's on your credit report. And so that way it lets you go in with a level of confidence into your home buying experience. So that way there's not a lot of stress and anxiety around that. Um I will say that, just to share a little bit of my experience when it came to that, my credit was terrible. When I first decided I wanted to buy a house, my credit was terrible. It was like in the 500s. Just terrible. Just bad choices and decisions I made, and yeah, it did not look good for me at all. So that's something that I knew that I had to work on. So I spent the last that 3 years working on my credit and getting it back, or not getting it back. I don't even know if I ever had good credit, to be honest. I don't know, but getting it to the score needed to be able to get approved for a house or get approved for a mortgage loan. So I got to work and I did sign up for a credit repair company. And just so you know, like any good credit repair company, you are going to have to pay for. If they say like get credit repair for $50, like I probably wouldn't do that one. Because all they're gonna do is just like write letters and then see if anyone replies or not, and then they got you for $50. but a reputable credit repair company, like, will actually make sure that stuff gets removed. So just do your research when finding one. But, when I was, trying to get my credit good, one of the barriers on my credit report was, at the time, I had 2 car notes. I had 2 vehicles with car notes, because the year that my husband passed away, we had just gotten a new car because we needed 2 cars. So, of course, I'm not thinking that he's gonna pass away, and I'm thinking that, okay, he's gonna pay 1 car note, and I'm gonna pay 1 car note, so that way, we're good. But when he passed away, then I was left with 2 car notes and rent and bills and everything else. So, um, I kept I kept both cars for about a year after he died and was paying both car notes, but it got to a point where it was just too much. I was dipping into my savings for my house, and I was like, I cannot continue. So, after a year paying for both car notes, I went ahead and did a voluntary repossession on one of the cars. And I had, after they took it to auction and sold it for whatever at the auction, after that I still had a balance of like $13,000. Or I want to say maybe it was $16,000 on the car itself that was on my credit, and there wasn't no way I was gonna pay it because I don't have that car anymore, but I owed that. So that's something that credit repair couldn't get rid of. When I did the voluntary repossession, I told them, and when, because they asked you like, why, do you want to try to refinance it, like, or keep it? And I was like, no, my husband died, like, I don't have the same income that I have anymore, so I can't afford to keep this car. So when I was going through the process of cleaning up my credit, actually, and that's why I say, like, also too, keep God in the process. Hey man, like, keep praying, keep God in the process. Because one day the um the creditor that had the vehicle, like, or that had the debt, they reached out to me and they were like, "Hey, we understand that you had to give the car up because of a personal hardship. So we are willing to have you pay partially on the car, and that will consider the debt on the car free and clear, and we'll remove it from your credit." So I'm thinking like, "Oh my God, like, this is a blessing." Like, cause I was just gonna try to figure out how to pay down the debt enough to get my score like to where it needed to be. But I was like, I would absolutely love to do that. How much are we talking? Like, do I gotta pay half of the 16,000? Like, what is it? And y'all will not believe when I say this, but they were like, just pay us $1,600 and consider the debt gone. You no longer have to pay on this car. We'll remove it from your credit. And I was like, 1,600? Like 1,600? And they were like, yes. I was like, are you sure? Like, you're not saying 16,000, like what I owe on the car? And they were like, no, ma'am, $1,600. And this debt is considered closed. And I was like, okay, like, I need this in writing. That's another thing too. Like, any debt that you settle for a lesser amount, make sure you get that in writing. So that way, if the lender asks about it, or if it's still on your report, but it shows a zero balance, like you don't owe it anymore, you want to be able to show like, yeah, I have proof that I paid that off, if they ask. But, yeah, I was like, "Can I get that in writing, please?" Like, they were like, "Yes, we'll send it to you in an email. You can sign and agree to it, and we'll take your payment. Square biz, done." And that one thing alone once that car was off and gone off my credit, score skyrocketed. Score skyrocketed. And I was like, "Oh my God, like, look at God showing out. Look at him showing out." So, I say all that to say, don't I know credit, especially if your credit's not in good shape, it can bring up a lot of stress and anxiety and you're very anxious. But if you pull it now before you start going through the process and having other people pull it and then you being embarrassed and all that stuff, just pull it yourself. Take care of what you need to take care of. You might have to come out of pocket for something. You might be able to get some stuff removed because of errors or whatever, but just pull your credit report and take care of what you need to take care of. If you need help, then seek a reputable credit repair company to help you. But yeah, you gotta face it, whatever it is, because that is the credit score is the one thing that's gonna keep you from being able to get into a house, one, and then two, getting to the house that you want, like your dream house. So just take care of it, mama. Don't just bite the bullet and just take care of it however you can. Amen. Okay, and the next thing to do to prepare to buy a house is start saving. Amen. That sounds like a no-brainer, but start saving your money. And what I mean by that is um use a budgeting system. Start tracking your spending. Stick within your budget. Don't overspend. Take a look at your finances and what you spend your money on and see what things that you can cut out or you can limit, or you can reduce so that way you could put that extra money into savings. And I know it's hard when you have kids and they got things going on, like, trust me, like, I know it's hard, but it's only hard if you make it. Amen. And one thing that I will say, like, once I started, like, looking at our finances and budgeting, before I did that, I was living paycheck to paycheck and wondering, like, where all my money would go. But after I actually sat down and reviewed, like, a month's worth of my expenses and tracked every dollar to see where my money was going, baby, I was eating my money. Like, I was eating all of my money. I was spending money on eating out, food at work, vending machines, buying the kids McDonald's. Like, I was eating the money. And I was like, well, I really don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. I just need to stop eating. I need to eat the groceries that I buy. Amen. Because I was spending $400 on groceries every month. And then on top of that, spending $600 eating out. wait, wait, no, like, who's doing that? It was me. That I like I it's me. So I had to put a stop to that. I definitely had to put a stop to that. So um we had me and my kids, like, we had months where we did, like, we got food at home. So we just ate at home. And then if I did want to take us out to eat or something, I would limit us to, like, maybe once a month, something like that, because it was just too much. Um, and most people have issues with, like, going online shopping and stuff. And me, I wasn't even online shopping, like, or anything like that, or buying anything we didn't need. It we was just eating. That's it. That's all I was spending my money on. So once I got that in check, I was able to save extra money. And then also too, if any opportunities came to make any additional money with, like, overtime and stuff like that, I would save it. Um, Income tax returns, I saved those. I pretty much acted like that money wasn't mine. And as soon as I got it, I put it into savings and kind of put it out of sight, out of mind. Um, so that's kind of the strategy I used. Also too, I adopted a budgeting system. So I've talked about it before, but I used zero-based budgeting, and I still use zero-based budgeting to help manage my money and my spending. And basically what that is that I treat everything like a bill. So everything down from the real bills to whatever expenses I have that month, and also to saving is included in that. So by the end of, like, when I get paid, pretty much I want the total amount to get down to 0. So that means, like, every dollar has a job. So every dollar is working towards something. So it once I get to a point where, okay, this portion is going to the bills, this is going to, like, my expenses, this is for the kids, this and that, and this is for savings, I should be at $0 or close to $0. So that's how I budget to make sure that my that saving is included in my budget. Saving money is included. A certain dollar amount for the savings account, for the house, the new house account, had a certain dollar amount going to it every month. So that's how I did that. But there are lots of different budgeting systems that you can use. I'll link some in the show notes. So that way I'm making sure y'all reading the show notes and paying attention. So I'm not going to say it or flash it up on the screen, but I will put some budgeting systems and kind of like budgeting methods in the show notes for you to review. And so you can look them up yourself and see which one fits better for your lifestyle. But I found that zero based budgeting was best for me and what I had going on because it held me accountable to making sure that I was only using money towards the things that it needed to go to. And I was also saving consistently, not just a little bit, like once every other month or something like that. Like every paycheck had a dollar amount in savings, that was taken away from that. So that really helped me. Also, too, you want to demonstrate healthy spending habits. So even though you're not shopping lenders right now and no one's checking your credit right now or looking at your bank accounts right now, you want to start developing those good spending habits now. Because when you do go through the process and they do want to look at your bank statements to see how you spend your money, you don't want them to see 100 Amazon transactions in a month. You don't want them to see you zelling everyone, like zelling 5 or 6 different people in 1 month. You don't want them to see that because then they're going to assume that you don't know how to manage your money and you cannot pay your bills. So you want to start getting in the habit of tracking your spending and make sure that you're spending wisely on things that you need and not doing any like excessive spending or just shopping sprees and stuff like that because they do use that to determine your worthiness just as much as they use your credit score. So you don't want to come off as a buyer who doesn't manage their money well or can't control their spending. So just make sure you use this time while you're getting prepared to spend like a homeowner and be responsible and show that you're putting money away for unexpected repairs or expenses, or God forbid if you're ever out of work, you'll still be able to pay your mortgage because you have money saved. So just be cautious of that and yeah, start getting yourself ready right now. And then we already kind of touched on it, but also make sure you cut any unnecessary spending. So if you need to dial it back with online shopping a little bit, do that. Get rid of those buy now, pay later accounts that you have, the Klarnas, the whatever's. Get rid of all that. The afterpay, like make sure you pay all those off and then stay away from those. Stay away. Just stay away. Because that's just extra debt that's on your credit profile and you don't want that. So just take care of it, get rid of it, and then don't look at it no more. I've been clean off buy now pay later for the last I think 2 years. Yeah, the last 2 years I've been clean, cold turkey, no buy now pay later. I pay everything with the cash that I have, and if I don't have cash for it, then I don't buy it. So just do what you got to do. Amen. And then the last thing I want to go over, and if I sound a little rushed, I'm sorry, but I'm losing daylight. It's already cloudy and there's no sun, so I'm starting to lose daylight. But, one last thing that I want you guys to consider, and this is why saving is so important, because there's going to be certain things that they'll ask you for upfront, one of them being earnest money. So I know with my experience, when I decided on a house and a lender and all that stuff, they wanted me to put down, earnest money, like 1% of the total cost of the house to show that I was a serious buyer. So you want to have that ready. Like, here you go. Because someone could be right behind you outside, waiting for that same house and ready to put down their earnest money on it. So just make sure that you're ready for that if that's a requirement. Also too, your lender wants to see that you have, reserves. So they wanna see that, you have at least 3 months worth of the mortgage, in your bank account at the time that you're buying, like, during your closing time or whatever, because they just wanna know, like, if something were to happen, like, you would be able to still cover the mortgage for a period of time. So just keep that in mind too while you're saving, like, you're saving for your future mortgage. Down payments, if that's something that comes up. So you want to, make sure you're saving in case you have to put down a down payment of any sort. Also, too, you're gonna want to furnish your new house, right? You're gonna want to buy new things, new furniture. So, and remember, we're not putting things on credit and going into credit card debt after we buy the house. And like, just you got brand new clean squeaky clean credit. You don't want to ruin that by putting in a whole bunch of furniture debt. So make sure you're saving money for that too, or you got something lined up to where, like, you're gonna get some stuff from this person, or people gonna gift you things, or you're planning a housewarming, like all that stuff. But just make sure you account for that too, and like the things that you'll need when you first move in, like cleaning supplies, and if you want to get like cart or rugs and pillows, stuff like that. You want to have that money on hand so that way you can get the things you need when you move in. Um, Also too, closing costs. So keep that in mind that there are closing costs involved when you purchase a home, and any unexpected costs. So if you're buying a home that was previously owned and you have to pay for an inspection, or when you move in something goes wrong and you have to, pay to repair something, just be sure to incorporate that or to keep that in your mind when you're saving for your future house. So these are all things that could come up and you want to be prepared and ready for when the time comes, if the time comes. And the last thing I want to say about furnishings is you can do this, mama, okay? You can, furnish your home and get everything that you and your kids need without having to go into debt, because I did it. I pretty much, like, I didn't have a whole lot of furniture moved here. A lot of things I did buy, but I bought them with cash. I didn't put anything on any credit cards. I didn't do any, like, payment plans or financing for anything in my house. Everything that I knew that I wanted for our house, I saved for it. And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Like, your couch doesn't have to cost $2,000. And trust me, I did want a $2,000 couch, but I ended up getting my couches free and clear. I ended up, shopping on Amazon for like dining room table and decorations. I got my daughter's sofa sleeper on Amazon, my kids' beds on Amazon, all for a reasonable price. And I priced everything before, like, I saved up for it because I wanted to know what number I needed to save. And that's another thing too, when you're looking into, like, the things you want for your home. Run the numbers on everything so that way you have a number that you're a target number that you're saving for, because saving is a lot easier when you have a number and you can break it down like biweekly or per paycheck or per month. It makes it easier to hit the target when you know what the target is. Amen. So that's pretty much it, mamas. that I'm gonna go ahead and land the plane here, but that would be my tips as a single mom to prepare to buy a house. But also to above all else, you know, do what's best for you. If buying a home is within your means and it makes the most sense for you right now and it's something you really want to do, then by all means pursue that. I just don't want you to put yourself in a situation where you're trying to buy a house just to keep up with the Joneses, or because all your friends have a house, or everyone in your family, like your sibling group has a house and you don't. Like, do what's best for you when the time is right. Amen. Don't feel any pressure, because there's already like a lot of stress when it comes to home buying. So you want to make it the best experience that you can. So don't put too much on yourself. Do what you can and take your time. There's no rush. Like, you don't have to rush this or anything like that. Like I said, like, it was a 3-year process of me saving money, learning how to save money. Amen. Because I did not know how to save money, learning how to budget, track my expenses, cleaning up my credit. All that stuff took time, and that's okay. That's okay, because everything that's worth having takes time and patience is required. So, but yeah, I hope that this helps and encourages you if you are wanting to start to prepare buying a home. I hope that this is helpful for you, especially for my single moms. I mean, if I was able to do it, I know that you can do it too. Like, there's no doubt that you can do this too. And I wish you the best of luck. And if you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up. You can find me on Instagram at motherhood_ghetto. You can DM me there. Also too, you can leave a comment under the podcast. So if you can leave comments on Spotify, on YouTube. I think you could comment on Apple too. I'm not sure, but if you can comment there too. Comments are always on. Don't forget to follow the podcast. Subscribe on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. And thank you so much. Thank you for submitting that question and asking me to kind of go over it. I appreciate that. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Until next time, mamas. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Don't forget to follow the podcast and share with anyone who you think may enjoy it. And follow me on Instagram at motherhood_ghetto. Also, feel free to DM me if you have any experiences, opinions, or views on motherhood you'd like me to share on the podcast. Until next time, mamas.